As part of his treatment, we learned tonight President Trump was injected with a second dose of the antiviral drug Remdesivir. His doctors say he's not out of the woods, but he is showing progress. As KOMO's Patrick Quinn reports, through clinical trials, many COVID patients right here in our region have recovered from the virus using Remdesivir.
That's right. Swedish Medical Center was on the forefront of those clinical trials, and it was early promising data there that helped pave the way to make Remdesivir one of the most turned-to treatment drugs on a growing market. At Walter Reed Army Medical Center, President Trump has now taken his second dose of Remdesivir.
Really, Remdesivir has become the standard of care for treatment of COVID in the United States of America.
Dr. Jason Goldman ran the clinical trials at Swedish Medical Center with early promising data that the drug Remdesivir helped stop the virus from spreading, especially for patients newly infected.
When people first need oxygen, that's where Remdesivir works best.
According to multiple reports, the president was given supplemental oxygen before being flown to the hospital. Neither Remdesivir or Regeneron are available to the public. In a video message today on Twitter, the president praised these therapeutic treatment options.
Frankly, they're miracles. If you want to know the truth, they're miracles. People criticize me when I say that, but we have things happening that look like they're miracles coming down from God.
Dr. Goldman didn't go that far in characterizing these treatment options, but stressed their growing importance while we wait for a widely available vaccine.
These treatments are really the current staple of managing the illness once it occurs.
Well, President, with the president, there's speculation over whether or not this could potentially garner him some sympathy votes. Or will those on the fence see this as him being irresponsible with how he's managed the virus and his overall response to it? As for Biden, I'm told it's about him choosing his words carefully and sticking to a message he's had for quite some time now, and that is the importance of wearing a mask. From rallying in Minnesota just days ago to being flown to Walter Reed Medical Center, President Trump now battling the coronavirus, amplifying what's already set to be a contentious election.
I think it's not only important for him, but for the country that the elections take place in an unimpeded manner.
Asim Prakash is a political science professor at the University of Washington. He says any remaining undecided voters will see the president as a human who is struggling, potentially swinging their vote for him, or it could go the opposite direction.
It's possible that at the margin, some people think that probably he's not the best person to lead the country.
For his opponent, former Vice President Joe Biden, seen here stumping in Michigan Friday, some say it's an opportunity for him to potentially criticize the president's policies throughout this pandemic, but that if he does, to go easy.
He needs to be very careful not to look like he's trying to exploit the situation in the White House.
And it also remains to be seen if the two will meet again on the debate stage, where the president took a jab at Biden and his mask wearing.
And Molly, many people here are wishing the president and first lady a speedy recovery. But when it comes to these masks and face coverings, they still remain divided.
It's truly in God's hands.
There is genuine concern for President Trump and the first lady.
What do you expect may happen when you don't wear a mask?
But when it comes to masks,
it's not about you. It's about the other people.
And Alicia Gibson says this is a teachable moment for Americans.
It is a necessity and has become a necessity.
And many health experts also agree.
We would hope that everyone follow the recommendations that public health has made, which is wearing a face mask.
And I think, unfortunately, this is a demonstration of what can happen when we don't stick with what we know.
Oh, no. I'm anti-mask.
But Jason Monaro says he'll only wear one if he has to go into a place where it's required, like a store or business.
Herd immunity, open it up, and let's just get on with life.
I'm not really sure what I think about the COVID at this point.
Then there are some people like Ashley Kappas who still have questions about the virus.
I believe it's real, but I think it's maybe a little hoaxy.
A little hoaxy?
Yeah.
But Troy Terry is still wondering.
Is it really as dangerous as people say? I don't know.
Marcel McQueen wishes the president and first lady speedy recoveries, but also says people will be people.
I don't think it's going to make a difference. People are going to do what people do.
Things can go from bad to worse very suddenly with COVID-19. One woman I spoke with thought she just had a really bad flu. The other, she still suffers bouts of symptoms months after recovering. Not everyone who contracts COVID-19 ends up in the hospital, but the illness can be grueling nonetheless.
I had a really high fever the first night that I really felt sick. It was 103 degrees.
The initial onset was just like a cold, and then all of a sudden it just hits you. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I was just in a full body sweat, had a fever, and just felt really, really sick.
Neither woman ended up hospitalized, but had a tough time as the disease ran its course because doctors have yet to find a treatment for mild cases. That changes when people reach the stage where the president is at. Doctors have two main therapies then.
The first one is Remdesivir, which pretty much everyone who is inpatient is getting.
If a patient's condition worsens and breathing becomes an issue, doctors up the ante.
For people who require oxygen supplementation, so helping them with their oxygen levels, then we can also give a medication called dexamethasone, which is a type of steroid.
Carrie Ann Eckberg didn't feel right for weeks and still suffers months after recovering. At this point, the president is hospitalized as a precaution due to the uncertainty of what this virus can do.
You know, I don't think the president is out of the woods yet, but it certainly made everything much more real for him.